right, guys, thanks for watching Aeolus Defense. This is the first portion of the ranch series, and the portion that we want to say we think is one of the most important. If you have to go to the ranch, you have to mutually assist somebody. The cool thing is this is kind of multi-positional. This is a bug out bag. Maybe you have to leave because there's a hurricane or a natural disaster. Or this works as a Minuteman. This works for a lot of different things, but let's just say the ranch and mutually assisting people. This is your individual personal shelter kit.
All right, guys, so what is common between these two options? I think you're gonna see a cheap option and a more expensive option. Both are military grade, but from kind of different eras and different price points. But the things that are common are right here in the middle, common to both systems. All right, so we have six foot pieces of paracord. We burn the ends, not the ends, whatever you want to do. Keep these, don't cut these up. This is to use to tie down different things when you need just a short piece of paracord. Now another piece, more paracord. This is a 50-foot piece, continuous. Again, try not to cut this if you don't need to, right? That's what the smaller pieces are for, when you need to just use a smaller piece. This is for when you need a long stretch. And the reason we say break this up is because what'll happen is if you just carry a 50-foot piece and I need a 6-foot or this for end of a tent or whatever, next thing you know, you don't have 50 feet of paracord anymore, and I need to make a 15-foot, that's the closest distance between two trees, and I don't have any. So again, 50-foot piece, burn the ends, tie it up nicely, and don't try to cut this. All right, the third thing that's common between these two systems are stakes. Now we picked these triangular MSR stakes. Get them at REI, get them from MSR, doesn't really matter where you get them. What we recommend you do to these is make this loop just a little bit longer. So use the same cord, you can actually sheathe, take paracord, pull the innards out, and it'll fit through the hole, make it a little bit longer. It helps with not only attaching them to things, so you can put these all in a carabiner and put them that way, but also running them through the grommets of the different systems. Just a little bit more space here would be beneficial. But these things don't bend, they go through everything, and they hold really, really well. All right, now the fourth piece that's common between these two is just a good heavy-duty tarp. Now what we recommend is a neutral color. A lot of times you see these with a real bright, flashy color, but it kind of defeats the purpose. A neutral color, a brown or a green or a black per se, and then on the inside, you'll see it's Mylar. So this is really good to help reflect that heat. You'll see those emergency Mylar blankets. They're real thin, real small. Like, oh, look how small this is. It weighs 2 ounces. I put it in my pocket. Yeah, and you can't use it more than a few times, if at all. So we recommend this. This is very heavy duty, and it's common between both systems.
All right, so let's talk about the updated military kit. And one of the biggest portions of the update in this is the weight. The newer system is gonna weigh less, but it's gonna cost more. So top of the line that you can get would be the Wild Things gear that I've found. There may be other stuff out there, but Wild Things gear is pretty good. So the Wild Things gear waterproof shelter, it's big enough that I can get inside of it and put all of our gear there. You can go back and look at the tarp video that we have, where we talked about 5 ways that you can use a tarp. That goes really well with this kit. We use this kit. It's a great kit. You can get underneath it. You can put all your gear underneath there. It's $154 retail as of now on their site. Then they have the shelter liner. The shelter liner, this is something that you wanna, it's a whoopee, right? That's what we know it as, but they call it the shelter liner. It's good down to about 35 degrees. We slept in them last night to 55 degrees or 54 degrees, and it was almost too hot. So it works very well for summer and fall, and it's $199, and it's a pretty awesome whoopee, the shelter liner kit, right? And then on top of that, we have the Outdoor Research Advanced Bivy Sack. I don't think they make the advanced anymore. They've got to upgrade to it. They're about 190 bucks, and this one has a zipper face for it. You can get inside, and with the Bivy Sack, which will keep you dry, and the whoopee, this gives you the full kit, something to sleep on, something to sleep in, and something to sleep under. This is a great option because this is the best money can buy. And it also, for my environment right here, the multicam does very well. Again, go back and watch that video of the top 5 ways to use a tarp. it blends into our environment very well. So you want to be very conscious to where you are, where your environment is, because you know, if you're in a woodland environment, maybe the multicam's not as good. So get the camo color that you need, because camo is important. But if money's not an object, this is the kit that I would recommend. This is pretty amazing. About $600 to get the Wild Things gear and outdoor research kit. I believe this is the basis to all of your kits. You need to have this, but let's talk about a more affordable option.
All right, so a more affordable option is actually the kit that I started the military with. This is all straight, like the first issue. You can get this at surplus stores. This is the very first type of things I was getting issued. So we'll start with the Whoopee. That's what it is. Same type that the Wild Things is, a little bit thinner, but it's a Whoopee. You know, we didn't sleep in this one last night, or I guess actually we did, or Trey did. So it did more or less the same things the Wild Things gear did. A little bit heavier, not very expensive. I think you can find these anywhere between $20 and $40. Check the quality when you go to buy one, especially when you're buying used or surplus, because if you got any of my surplus stuff, it could be beat up pretty bad. Be careful on what you buy, or make sure it has a return policy or something like that, but a very inexpensive option in comparison to the Wild Things. All right, so next up, the bivy sack. This is the old school general issue military bivy sack. It does zip up in the front here, but there's no mosquito net here. You can not overheat, but you got to be conscious of your sweat, your perspiration, your breath, because you can actually make it wet inside of here way too easily. So I like the more advanced option where you have a little more breathability, but you know, heavy duty, this is bulletproof, but also in making it such, it's a lot heavier than the other more advanced options out there, but will keep you dry. Have slept in these for years. Throughout the winters of Alaska, this is what I had. I put my normal sleep bag inside of it, inside of snow caves, and it kept me dry and it kept me warmer than not having it. So a great piece of kit. These are right around that $80, $100 mark, but again, make sure you find a good one or be able to look and return it, because you don't know how well it's been worn. All right, now last up is what would be your shelter. So this is just a Marine Corps Marpat camouflage tarp. Unlike the Wild Things, you'll see that it's just colored on one side. There's a PU lining on this side to keep it waterproof. It's got the same grommets. It's more or less the same size. It's a little bit heavier than the Wild Things there, but also works really, really well. Something to consider when comparing the two and deciding on what you need is also the environment. As we talked about camouflage, this works really well in a lot of environments, just as well as multicam does in other environments. So just be cognizant of that, and maybe you need a woodland tarp. Again, not very expensive. Normally can pick these up at surplus stores or on eBay. Be careful on, you know, the knockoffs. I really like having, you know, military surplus one, because you know it was very compliant, it's durable, and it can really just stand the test of time. Because what you don't want is your tarp to start leaking when it's raining. And that can happen even after a few uses or at a use when you get a lower quality product. And this won't do that. So great option, not very expensive. Shop around, probably in that $50, $60 price range.
All right, guys, once again, we believe that having a personal emergency shelter system is critical to every single kit you have, whether it's recce, long-term, assault, Minuteman, bug out, you know, your family has an emergency bag, anything like that. You may need to be able to get into shelter to stay out of inclement weather. You may need to be hidden. You may need to be found. You know, you can use the inside of one of these to have a plane be able to find you. There's a lot of uses that this has, and it's the foundation of your kit that you need for a ranch situation or a mutual assistance situation in order to save you or your family's life.
All right, so another good use for this type of kit is just general emergency preparedness in your vehicle. So you may not want to have this, or you may not think, oh, I don't need a bug out, or I'm gonna always take my vehicle. I don't fit in a car, right? Like I can't sleep in my car very well. Having this to be able to put on the bed of your truck and just get out of the rain or weather, or maybe like you just broke down. It's, you know, it's not a bug out situation, it's just a survival situation. This is a good piece of kit to just leave in your vehicle. Put it all together, put it in a plastic bag, put it under a seat, you know, put it in the bed of your truck and in your toolbox or whatever you have. Just all around great kit to have. All right, so really guys, we've shown you two options here, a much higher end, you know, $600 versus a $200. Both are mil spec, both will do the job. Figure out what works for you. There's really no excuses not to add this to your kit.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more in the ranch series where we mutually assist our neighbors, our friends, our families. We appreciate you. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications, spread it to the world, put some comments under there. The more you comment, the more it puts us in the algorithm, the more people we can get and reach so that we can help y'all out. So we appreciate you. Stay tuned.